Peace. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. With this particular video, I want to give you proof that the true and living God is among you, the supreme intelligence of the universe, aka King Noble Black Supremacy. I'm going to break this down to you. I'm going to make it make sense to you. Let me say that. In this video, you see the Om symbol. The Om symbol is the essential vibration of the universe. That's what the Om represents. That original vibration, the primordial energy, the source intelligence of everything, from which everything came. That first vibration, first tone, first resonance. Now let's look at essential vibration. Because we think of God, we think of the essential vibration. The essential vibration. You hear my voice, you hear my tones, that's vibration. That is resonating with you as I speak my words. It is tone, it is energy, it is frequency. Now the essential vibration also meaning the origin, meaning the essence. And also meaning a vibration that is essential to life. That is needed, that is necessary. That is very vital. Vitality, life. So now, when you see human beings and how they live, you know there's some things that are essential to them. And these things so happen to be here. Man has messed with a lot of stuff. Have messed with a lot of things and got things out of alignment. Got things out of their natural space and place. A lot has been corrupted. But on earth, everything that man needs is essential. It's here. Oxygen, water, heat, everything to make shelter, food, medicine, companionship. Everything that is essential is here. Unarguably, it's on earth, it's on the planet. Controlled and monopolized by many and displaced by a few, but it's all here. All of the essentials are here. So we've never been without our essentials. And strangely, these essentials has not changed since the beginning of time. What is essential for man now? What's essential for woman now? What's essential for child now? Was essential then. Trillions of years ago when it all began. The essence has not changed. The essentials have not changed. Now we have been sold an artificial reality to confuse what is essential, to make us accept their artificial world. We are not clear on what the essentials are anymore. Because of capitalism, because of how they are exploiting us and how they are educating us, the essentials have been confused. So we're interested in a lot of stuff. We're confused about a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with the essentials of life. We're struggling every day. We're living for things that are not essential to life. They're all extra. It's a lot of luxury, but it's being pushed to us as essential. That's what the programming is. When they can have you confuse what is essential, what is natural, and what is real, then now they can turn you into an artificial being, and they can also trap you into an artificial reality. That is what we call the matrix. You no longer know what is essential anymore, i.e. real. You no longer know what is real anymore. I imagine if you heard the voice of God, it would be the realest thing that you ever heard. Real. Something that is real, that resonates with you, resonates with your soul. Something that speaks to the ancient being within you, something that activates your DNA. Everything that is essential is here. Supreme intelligence was essential. God consciousness was essential. The knowingness of it all was essential. Being in tune with reality was essential. So there had to be a being or an intelligence that manifests itself and embody itself in the time that you live in today. It had to manifest on earth because it's essential of you having divine leadership, of you knowing where to go, of you knowing what is important, of you knowing what this is all about. That was essential to your life, to living here on the planet. So that means that you could not be here without it. So it had to be placed among you. We talk about our ancient African spirituality. We talk about the orishas. We talk about the divine intelligence that has always existed on the planet. We talk about these spiritual leaders and these embodiments of God that has always existed among us. It had to. God always had to be in flesh. It had to be manifested in a form where you could conceptualize and come into the knowledge and awareness of the universe while you are living on it. It had to manifest itself. It could not be a spook. It could not be a mystery. It could not be something outside of human existence and human consciousness. So it had to embody. A lot of people want to say, well, a lot of our information came from aliens and aliens gave us this information. And people just got this information by going within themselves and unlocking certain things and getting spiritual knowledge. Or they got this information by shamans using drugs and alcohol and having certain ceremonies in order to activate information. These are all things that people say as how this divine information was revealed, how human beings came into the intelligence of God and the spiritual world to have what I'm calling a grand knowing of the universe. But even to use that drug or to use that alcohol, to have that ritual, that intelligence came from somewhere to do that. And to be able to communicate with extraterrestrial beings that came from another planet that gave human beings light codes of information, there had to be an intelligent medium between the aliens, the extraterrestrial beings, and human beings. It had to be a human being that was open-minded enough, that was at a level of intelligence to understand the purpose of these beings and to be able to grasp the knowledge and information that they brought in order to give it to humanity. So you still needed that divine intelligence to be embodied and to be manifested. You needed someone who had it all in divine perspective as it related to the people, the civilizations that lived and existed on that planet in that period of time. That is the intelligence of God on earth. That is the essential vibration of the universe. All tones, all vibrations, and all frequencies that have ever existed continue to exist now. They're still going. We have everything that we had that was essential trillions of years ago. Water, fire, light, sound, everything. It is here. It has never left. It has always been here. It has always been with us. And so has our God. So has our true and living God. So has our divinely, supremely intelligent consciousness continue to manifest and embody on this earth as beings, as a being. In this dispensation of time, it's King Noble Black Supremacy. This divine intelligence has re-embodied itself as it continues to do. Man will never be left without divine intelligence. A lot of times when we study African spirituality, it always got us looking back the same way Christianity do, the same way these religions do, the same way Islam and the rest of the religions do. We're still looking back. We don't realize that the totality of God consciousness, the totality of God operates fully in the present moment. It doesn't just operate in the past. Divine intelligence is not a thing of the past. It's not a thing of history. It's not a thing of folklores. It's not a thing of fables. It's not a thing of myth. It is present. It is present as the water you drink, the food you eat, the energy from the sun that you get. It is a very present phenomenon. So it has to manifest in the present. Many of us look back too hard as though it is impossible for divine intelligence to embody itself in this dispensation in time among us, that we find that very hard to conceptualize. But everything else that is essential to our survival it exists and is manifested in this present time. We don't look at water and look back and say, well, dang, water was good back in 1700 BC. water must have been a good thing. Or we don't look back in 1400 BC and say, oh, sunlight must have been a good thing. We have it now. And I'm telling you that the divine intelligence exists right now because man could not be without it. Man could not be without his divinity. Man could not be without his divine knowing. So these divine entities manifest in human form to put everything in perspective, to awaken and enlighten the masses of people and to begin to guide and direct them in a divine way. No more of a time have we needed a divine God, a divine manifestation, a divine embodiment of the spiritual world than we are now, because the artificial world has become dominant and has become so corrupt and so pushed. It has become a prison for the consciousness of humankind today, the artificial world. Well, now the artificial world has replaced their spiritual and divine understanding of reality. So it is even more essential now than it was trillions of years ago for you to have an embodiment of God, for that essential vibration to begin to become the dominant vibration and manifest right now for you. Never ever has it been even more essential than it is now, because mankind is confused, is scattered, is very distracted, and have gotten off course from the divine spiritual way, and have taken the behaviors, the pathologies, the scripts, the paradigms, and the narratives of an artificial world. A world that's only created to exploit and to entrap souls on this dimension. It's only created to exploit, and so certain entities can live in an artificial made utopia based on physicality in this particular plane. They exploit the human energy and human consciousness, the sleep state, and they create an artificial reality to plug you into, to suck your energy. And that is their corporations, that's their corporate world, that's their corporate reality, that's Disney World, that's their media, that's their entertainment, that's their vibrational reality. They're capitalizing off you not being able to heed to the call, to be able to resonate with the essential vibration that is your God, that is your deity, that is KNBS, that is King Noble Black Supremacy, that represents that ancient energy in divine harmony. See, the earth has not changed. They want you to believe that the earth is changing and the world is changing and things are changing. That's an illusion. The same things that was essential to having a divine experience on this plane are still to the essential today. They have the same exact value. Nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is your focus, your willing to embrace, your grasp, or how important you're willing to accept the spiritual and divine reality is. That's the only thing that has changed. The only thing has changed is what they have done with your consciousness. The only thing has changed is how they have led humankind astray. How they have led black people astray. That's the only thing that has changed. Nothing else has changed. So now you have to go through them, and they confuse everything when you have to go through them for everything that they have told you or programmed you to believe that is essential. So now what is essential for you, you don't place a lot of value there. You don't see it as very significant because you find your value that has been artificially created and engineered in an artificial world for you to keep them on top and to keep us on the bottom mentally, spiritually, physically, economically, and on every level, when the true essential vibration of the universe would actually turn us into rulers. It would turn us into the rulers and the custodians and of this earth. It would manifest black rulership if we got back in touch with that essential vibration. But we want to show up as something or somebody in their artificial world. And they have told us what is essential. And that's what we go after every day. Essentials that they have dictated to us and not what is truly essential. So it's hard for us to believe now, trying to get through the fog of this illusion that they have perpetuated. It's hard for us to conceptualize that the divine reality is among us. It is manifested for us that our God, KNBS, is here on earth, that is enlightening black people to who they truly are. It's hard for them to believe that. They believe that all their divinity is in history. That's why we got so many historians and griots. They believe our divinity is somewhere outside of this plane, outside of this realm. They couldn't believe that we needed that the essentials would manifest before us in that state of awakening, in that state of realization, to put our divinity in perspective and to begin to move us into the manifestation of that divine reality, to live in harmony with who and as we truly are. We find that hard to embrace because we're distracted by their world, their values, what they have made up. And they told us that we can only find out who we are in a book and look at history, and it's all behind us. But what's relevant for us today is how we bow down to their reality. That's what's relevant. Who we are as spiritual and divine entities in a position of power is only a thing of history. It's only a thing of information. It's only a thing of the past. It's only something that is outside of this fourth dimensional reality, which doesn't make sense. Because SO below, SO above, and SO within, SO without. So it has to be here. It has to be finite. It has to show